Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Stampeding Dogs Spectrum. You're really on my shit list. You really, really are. Um, I'm your host tonight, Aaron, with my co-host JR. How we doing, bud?
What's up, bro? I'm doing good here. Just taking it one day at a time.
Yeah, man, you working those long ass shifts, bro. Man,
Yeah, not fun.
not fun at all. But everyone, welcome back. Everyone that is, a viewer, welcome back, and anybody that's new, welcome to our show. And we are, kind of excited today because it is a special time. We have our logo that is done, and we're going to reveal that here very shortly. But the rundown for today, it's going to be basketball, basketball, basketball. As we all saw, the Cavs got the number 3 pick.
Yeah, yeah. I was very excited to see that. Um, I think was I at work?
It
Yeah,
was
I was at work
on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah, I was at work. Uh, just trying to watch it on YouTube TV while I was sitting on one of the planes.
I was actually in bed by 6. With everything going on in my life. The wife and I kind of went to bed at like 6 and was watching TV, and I stopped and I'm like, oh crap, what time is it? And I saw it was 8:27. I'm like, all right, man, we gotta pause our episode. I gotta watch this real quick. So, I think the realization is this. I mean, Cavs should get a really, really good player. And, definitely that's gonna hopefully fit what they want to do going forward. I know with these young guys they kind of want to run. So kind of see what they do. Combine is next Thursday and Friday with the draft next month. I guess with that being said, and we're gonna get more into the Cavs, here in a little bit, but I guess my initial reaction was I wanted the number 3 pick. Obviously, I wanted the number 1 pick, but once I saw we were in the top 4, I was like, as long as we get number 3, I know we'll get a good player. A little disappointed we didn't get number 1, but hey, top 3. I mean, for the way the draft has started, this is their third year doing this now. For us getting kind of screwed over, that's what I was expecting this year, for us to get screwed over. I mean, so I don't know what your initial thoughts were or anything like that, but I mean,
I mean, you know, I don't pay that much attention anymore as much as I used to basketball, but I mean I thought it was exciting. Uh we'll see what they decide to do uh with that pick. I've heard several different things. Um but we'll get into more of that in a bit. Um and then we can go over the poll results as well from our Twitter post at that time too.
yes, and
Uh,
Facebook, get your shit together too, please.
yeah, yeah. Facebook is trash.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
other than that, I mean, we'll see what they do, and hopefully they make a decision that makes everyone happy.
Yeah, I mean, they already have a couple nice pieces already set with the Coro, Garland, and Sexton. I also like Larry Nance too. I mean, he's still kind of young too. He's yet to hit his prime as well. But I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll definitely go over the poll results, and I'll let you take care of that because that was your thing. And you know, as JR said, we're going to talk about the Cavs. What we want to do. I'll talk about their cap situation, how they're not in a good place, and kind of what I saw this year, and kind of want to see and kind of what I want them to do going forward. On top of, I've been hearing some rumblings that I'm already not liking, and I'll kind of get into that here in a little bit, and I'll tell you why I don't like it. I guess with that being said, is we do have our logo reveal. We're about to do that here in a few seconds. I don't have any new news on the whole NFL. I haven't heard much. Kind of go over a few things, what's going on in the NBA, but JR, are you? I know I kind of showed you this, but no one really else has. And I will definitely get our shirts done before we go, before vacation.
Hmm.
And then on top of shirts, I am going to the Indians and Astros game, so I will have another shirt, and hopefully I don't get thrown in jail. So I will definitely bring that on. So next Thursday we won't be podcasting because I'll be at the game. So maybe we could do it Friday. So I guess without further ado, I'm going to give the credit to Corey Cromwell. She did I think, a fantastic job on this design. Kind of, I know in a sense we kind of went in a little bit in a different direction, but I still think it turned out all right. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. Very, uh, what's the word? Intriguing, uh, design. It was something. It was about what I was trying to explain when we were going
Yeah.
over a logo. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I'm content with it.
That's a good word
Okay.
with that.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
that's a good word. And I mean, we're definitely gonna be having these shirts, and it's gonna have our Facebook, our Twitter, and then our YouTube. And I want to thank Corey. So thank you, Corey, for doing a great work, and for anybody who needs, who does their own business or just wants help design wise, talk to me, and then I'll get in contact, and Corey, and you guys can go from there. But thank you, Corey. So I guess without further ado, my man, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, bro.
All right, man. I am going to reveal it, and then I am going to get out of the picture, and then you could do your thing.
I'll explain it a little bit.
Yeah. So here we go, everyone, and this is our logo.
Yeah. So as you can see, we combined our favorite teams. Uh, Mine being the Browns with the dog, and Aaron the Broncos with the horse. Uh, Basically wrestling. Basically. Um, yeah. I mean that was pretty much my uh what I wanted as the design.
Yeah,
I
I
like
mean,
the I like the flair.
me too. I think it really pops, and I think Corey did a tremendous job, and she does do my football designs as well. So for anyone that's looking for like brown shirts or anything like that, just holler at me, and you know I'll set you up right. But yeah, Corey, thank you again. So this is our logo. We're excited. This is the next step in the process, and we'll go from there. I mean, so you know, we talked so much about the Cavs, but there's other news that's been going around. You got the Suns and four guy, who I don't know if you heard, that guy that he whooped wants to go another round. He's saying, "Oh, he didn't get me that well, dude. He like made you stumble, and you try to sucker punch him, which makes it even worse." So, got the Suns and four guy. We got Phoenix, which I'll be honest, I've liked Phoenix since the Nash and Stoudemire days. I love that pick and roll with Marion too. So I'm happy for the Suns. They're up 2-0. Game three is tonight. And then you got the Hawks up 1-0 after winning last night, which honestly, I thought Milwaukee was either going to sweep or do a gentleman's sweep, win in five. So taking back a little bit that the Hawks don't win on the road. They're playing tremendous basketball. And other news is there was a trade, and it's ironic. JR kind of said this was he we talked about this last week with
Yes.
Boston, Kemba and all this stuff. Well, Kemba's no longer there. So Woj tweeted out back on June 18th at 9 o'clock in the morning, the Celtics are trading Kemba Walker and the 16th overall pick in the 21 draft in the 2025 second round draft picks to Oklahoma City for Al Horford, Moses Brown, and a 2023 second round pick. Also, Boston gets financial flexibility moving off the 73 to Walker with the return of Horford. On top of that, before we get into this, Oklahoma City has 3 first round picks in next month's draft. And the Thunder can work with Kemba Walker, like, as they did, with CP3 in Horford, pretty much. If you want to buy out, we'll trade you wherever you want to go. So I guess I will hint on this, and I'm going to try to tie this in here in a little bit too. Kemba's gone. You bring in Al Horford, who is older. I'm not a fan of Horford by any means, and he's not a very good rebounder. That's what they desperately need.
Yeah.
So good move for Oklahoma City, because they're in that rebuilding and they got a couple nice pieces already. I guess as this trade went down, in my head was Boston, what are you doing? Because now it's not Ainge, it's Stevens running the show. So for everyone that doesn't know or doesn't remember, Brad Stevens is running the show. He's not the new coach anymore. And we'll get into the new coach here in a new second. But your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I found it entertaining that on Thursday the 17th we did our podcast episode, and you were talking about how the Celtics are one, maybe two pieces away from being a serious contender, to trading away one of the pieces that you said they need on the team the next morning. I guess they disagreed with you, but
it's whatever, man. I'm not a Boston fan, so it don't bother me much.
True. Oklahoma City definitely won the trade.
Agreed.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know who Moses Brown is.
He's a good young piece. He is a big man, and he's still developing skill set wise, but he will get you rebounds and blocks. It's just you bring back Al Horford. He's older. So the only thing I'm going to say this, and I'm curious to see what you're going to say about this, is this. You trade Kemba Walker, fine, whatever. You don't want to pay that big amount for him. That's cool. So now the thing is you are thin at the point guard position. 1. 2, with Kemba gone, the ball is going to be more in Jason Tatum's hands. And I'm wondering if that's why they did that deal, so the offense could just run automatically through Tatum. Not saying he's going to be the primary ball handler by any means necessary.
No, and I know what you mean by that. Like, he might not be the one bringing the ball up or calling the play out, but the play is going to be to get him the ball.
Exactly.
And Kemba has a mentality of, well, I want to score too. And if they're calling plays for Tatum to get open off the ball and then Walker to make the pass, he's like, yeah, he's probably that's not his play style.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, maybe that's why. Maybe they are focused on Tatum being their future and just put, I guess, more assist.
I got faith. It's got more faith. I think that shows a little bit more faith with Tatum.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of showed, and and again, everyone's gonna say, it's because I'm a homer, but Tatum went to Duke, and I immediately saw what a lot of other scouts saw, like he could score however way you wanted him. The biggest thing was, the 3-point shot, and I think he's done an improvement. But I thought from the get-go, and I even told Tom, who is a big Boston Celtics fan, I said, if he's there at 3 and Boston does not take him, that'll be the biggest mistake of his life. He said, I was a homer. And now he says, wow, you're absolutely right. I was like, yeah, star all over him. So I am curious to see how Boston does now. I guess on a side note, looking at OKC, I kind of want to point out something that I like what Sam Presti is doing down there compared to what Altman is doing post LeBron the second time. I'm not talking about the first time, I'm talking about the second time. You see Oklahoma City getting all these draft picks, trading away their big cap situations. I know you could say, well, they're bringing in Kemba, but more than likely he'll get traded or bought out. They're getting all these picks. That is something Cleveland has not done.
Yeah.
You know, I am a firm believer that the Cavs are getting closer and closer and closer to, get in the postseason and then contend some here and there. But the biggest gripe I have with Altman is I don't think you know what the hell you're doing. One, trade wise. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not upset that they gave Kevin Love a big contract. It's just you gave him this money in the past 2 seasons. He is lacking the veteran leadership. He's walking up the court. He inbounds the ball and it gets stolen and he just stands there. I mean, and number two is this. I will go back to the Kevin Porter trade and I will stand behind the fact of would he have matured? We don't know. So I was fine with the trade. But Kevin Porter in his own right, without the what's the word I'm looking for? Without the immaturity,
Mm-hmm.
he's a top 10 player. And you get a couple second round picks. Seriously, dude? And look at the second half of the season, he played well. He played extremely well. That's another thing. You also screw up the whole Kyrie trade too, because those pieces got traded halfway through the year. So that's my biggest thing is I'll kind of let you just that thought is Altman's not doing what Sam Presti's doing over there down in Oklahoma. So
yeah, I mean, it's been a confusing time as a Cavs fan.
it's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
it's a good way to put it.
Not sure when you're not sure what your front office is thinking on certain moves, and you don't see any production from those moves that they make. You're like, okay, so what did you see that made you make that move? And it's just, it's not a, it's probably not a good thing if your fan base is questioning your
every
motives.
breath you take, man. Like, and I'm not talking about the song either. I'm talking about like every breath this dude takes. You just like, you sure you want to do that?
Yeah. Are you sure you want to do that? Oh, I wish I knew how to edit videos. I'd put the John Cena meme of him saying that. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I mean, I question it. And we're about to get into the Cavs more in detail, but I thought that was an interesting quote that I saw out there. Staying with players because I'm about to roll into coaches here in a hot second is. I've been kind of bashing this guy for the past 2 seasons, and he's going to get more heat this year. Is Ben Simmons? Ben, I'm just gonna say this, from a guy that watches this game on the couch. All I've been playing since I was 6 years old is this. You're too afraid to shoot. You can't shoot free throws. Apparently you have an immaturity problem that you don't want to work on your game. Whatever. I mean, you're in the NBA. I'm not. Fair enough. But I feel like for the Sixers, they need to trade him in order to hit that next level. So Woj tweeted out today at around noon, Sixers remained committed to working through Simmons' shooting issues this summer, especially free throws. Doc Rivers and Simmons met to discuss plans for moving forward together per sources. Also, apparently, Ben Simmons, and he is with Clutch Sports, Rich Paul. And I guess they've been discussing his future and no trade request has been made, but talks will continue. I will say this about Ben Simmons, and I've also read, I believe Stephen A. Smith reported this saying how he just doesn't want to work on it. He thinks he's good enough. But dude, when you get to the NBA, it's about winning championships. I feel like as a competitor growing up, actually even before the NBA, you want to win championships. And when you see that you are letting down your team by not dunking the damn ball when you had this, I believe it was Trae Young underneath the hoop. No, it was Kevin Huerter underneath the hoop. You slam that ball, dude. And I don't care if you're afraid to shoot free throws. You get an and one.
Yeah. To your point about the quote about Ben Simmons thinking he's good enough or whatever. Good enough isn't enough. You're in
Nope.
the NBA. Get better. If you can get better, get better. I mean,
That's
yeah,
how it should be.
I'm a good enough aircraft mechanic. Does that make you want to fly on a plane? No.
Even now, I probably still want to get on a plane that you fixed. No offense, buddy. No offense, man.
I fly on them all the time. Look at me. Look at me.
And that's probably what the issue is. Okay, got it. Heard. Playing, buddy. Playing.
All right. I'll remember that.
So
Remind me not to let you near my finances.
It's probably smart. It's probably smart. I just have a lot of issues with Ben, and it's been the past few seasons. I kind of gave him a ride his first couple, but you work out with LeBron. What do you and LeBron do? Play thumb war? Like, you had to work on the shot, man. That is the only thing that's wrong with your game because you're a good defensive player. You can rebound the ball. You can facilitate the ball. You got a good IQ, but you can't shoot the ball. And we're not going to get started on the free throws because I could go on and on and on about this. Because Jared will tell you the same thing as what I'm about to say, people, is this. And I kind of ride on Shaq and all these guys can't shoot free throws. Dude, it is the easiest shot in the world. All right. I shot 90%. It is not that hard to shoot a damn free throw, people. And for Division I players too out there, because it annoys the shit out of me too, and you can't at least shoot 80%. That's a big issue for me, especially when it comes down to clutch time. Because a lot of teams that win national championships, who win, the NBA title, they could shoot free throws. That's a problem for me.
Yeah.
That is a big problem for me. I don't care if he shoots 3-pointers and misses. At least you're taking them. But when you get to that free throw line, you need to make at least 80% for me in the NBA.
Yeah.
And I could go on, but I'm not going to because I'm just going to get mad. I'm honestly just going to get mad.
I was going to make a light joke about it and say LeBron's probably not the one you want working with Ben Simmons for free throws.
And it's funny because LeBron, as he got older, he got worse because I believe he was a 77% free throw shooter. And it's just gone hill. I don't understand it. I really don't. And I know some people struggle with it, but I feel like that's something you could definitely practice, get better. And get better. I think Ben Simmons shot 33% in the playoffs, and that's worse than Shaq. 33%. I mean, I'm thinking you're hucking up threes, and in reality, you're not. So, Ben Simmons, man, work on your offensive game. You have everything else but that. Don't be afraid, because if I'm Philly's GM and I get a nice offer, hey man, pack your bags. You gone. You out. I'll see you when whenever I see you on the damn schedule. But you out.
Yeah.
You out. I don't. It just aggravates me because I've been saying this for 2 freaking years, and it just hasn't got better. So on that note, we're gonna go to coaches, and Pacers made a move that I thought Boston should have done. An aspect of Pacers signed Rick Carlisle to a 4-year, $29 million contract today, which I didn't even hear about. I guess apparently, according to Woj, Pacers worked quietly and quickly to get a deal done with Carlisle. I guess team had planned to start interviews with several candidates in Chicago this week. It just, I guess it surprises me in a way. I don't view the Pacers as what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, they got good bigs. They got Turner and Sabonis, and now they got LeVert. I mean, so they got some nice pieces, but I thought he would go to a team like Boston You have Brown and you have Tatum. Tatum, no, you know Tatum's a star. So, but Carlisle is with the Pacers. We'll get Jared's thoughts here in a second. And I'm already going to say this dude's name wrong. So, and I remember this guy because I would actually kind of pick him for defensive purposes and rebounding. You know, in 2K, Ami Doka is now the Boston Celtics coach. And I was kind of looking at this. You know, it's just interesting to me. So he is a 43-year-old guy. He did bounce around the league. He was with 5 NBA teams and played roughly around 316 games over seven seasons. I'm just trying to figure this out. It's just kind of he's a young guy, you know, that's fine, but he did have he did join Pop staff back in 2022, and also with Brent Brown's staff with the Sixers. You know, when with Embiid and Al Horford 2 seasons ago. So apparently he is really grew a relationship with Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart, and apparently they were consulted by Brad Stevens and endorsed his hiring. So that's probably why he was hired. I'm still kind of taken back in a sense by it because he is such a young guy, and I thought they would go with Rick Carlisle, kind of right the ship.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, I feel like if the coaching hires had been flipped, it would have been the best decision for each team.
Well, the thing with Indiana is this, and I really liked Nate McMillan, and he's doing a tremendous job with Atlanta right now. That's
Yeah.
where he's at. He's done tremendous job. I always liked him, and when they had Oladipo, I still thought that they were a couple pieces away, whatever. So it's not a bad team, I guess per se, but it's just I don't know. I guess I'm still a little bit surprised on it.
Yeah, I mean, I only say that because Indiana is hiring Rick Carlisle to improve their team and make them better. And if the players just aren't as good as they think as good as the team thinks they are, they're not going to succeed, and Rick Carlisle is going to feel the fallout from that. And then I'll feel bad for him because he was put in that situation. Whereas if Boston hired him, we already know they're a playoff team. He could take them to that next level.
Which I absolutely agree, and that's why I thought they would go after Carlisle when I saw that he was available. I mean, curious to see how Duco does. I wish him luck. He's going to have a lot of pressure right off the bat. Because his team his team is young but experienced. I can't even say the word young anymore because they've been battle tested. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals against LeBron his final year in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. So I mean, they need a few pieces, another couple scores maybe. A guy off the bench, and then a guy to kind of slide right in who doesn't need to take a lot of shots to be successful. So Boston, I think, is in a decent spot. And I think that's why they felt comfortable to do that trade and to trade away the 16th pick.
Mm-hmm.
So we got teams on the rise. I had a couple conversations with, a few people on the Cavs future, which we're about to get into here right now. And it's kind of mixed with the Cavs. So financially, they're screwed. And I will get that, here in a brief moment. Financially, they're screwed. They gave Love that big contract that runs till 23. We got Drummond off the books, but here we are. Where are we at the end of June? Yeah, June 24, 2021 at 7:42, and we have to figure out about Colin Sexton. Me personally, I like the kid. I like the young bull. I have stuck up for him his rookie year. in his second year, and I said he's going to be fine, and he turned out to be fine. I guess my question to you is this before I answer this, JR, is this. Do you believe the Cavs should give him over $100 million?
No.
Can you expand on that? Because I bet you
No.
we're going to have the same damn thing.
I don't want to say lack of consistency,
Okay.
but it's along those lines. Like, I see flashes of stardom, and then I see other times where I'm like, what was your process of thinking there? Like, he still makes those young
Moves,
mistakes.
young mistakes. Yeah.
And I understand that'll happen, but then I'll see him drop 40 some points in a game, and I'm like, okay, now why? Let's do this a little more consistently. Let's have that mindset. I don't know if it might be it could be the coaching. I don't know.
See, I like Bickerstaff. I like
I
what they did.
I'm saying game plan wise.
Got you. Okay. I got you. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. What's yours?
Oh my gosh. That's like in the middle of everything. I guess that's sandwiched in there. The number one thing for me is this. It's really number two, but whatever. First thing on my bullet point was he came into the draft as a defensive player. He's not a good defensive player by any means. Okay, that's one. Because in the NBA, you know, there are really great point guards in that league, and you have to bring your A game in that position. I think that's like your quarterback for me. In the NFL is your point guard position. He runs the offense, runs through him, facilitate, whatever. So for the point guard for me, that's your quarterback. If I wanted to see a ball hog, I would go get Jamal Crawford. I don't think he's suited for a starting role. He's more for me as off the bench guy, that sixth man off the bench. And you're like, dude, just do whatever the hell you want. He doesn't facilitate enough. He's got one thing on his mind, it's just scoring, and that's fine. But when you are the youngest team in the NBA, and I say this as, I guess, playing this game for so long, watching the Cavs for so long, because I am a basketball fan than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
When you have this young of a team and you're trying to mesh, and Kevin Love's already hurt because, as soon as he walks on the court, he's hurt. The ball movement has to be there. People should be touching the ball at least 2 times. Running plays, moving, not standing around going, what are we doing? There's no ball movement. We saw in the beginning of the season, in the first month and a half, 2 months, and then it just disappeared. Mm-hmm. Because Sexton was dominating because we needed him to score. Which is fine and dandy in some cases, but when your shot ain't falling, move the ball. And he just doesn't do that. No. That's why I want to give him that extension on top of, if I'm the Cavs, I'm trying to move him. So we don't have to pay him. And you could go in the draft, and this is me not saying from the poll too, because I did vote. You could go get a Suggs. You could go get a Green, another guy. Or better yet, I've been hearing rumblings that CJ McCollum might be available. So why don't you make a deal? Because obviously Kevin Love don't want to be here. Send him home. I like Kevin Love. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Kevin Love. Without him in the finals runs, we wouldn't have won. He kind of got bashed because he played like crap, but I thought, looking back at it now, he did have a couple rough games, but he did his assignment well enough for them to win. Mm-hmm. Do something. If you want to bring in McCollum, I am totally cool with that. Because Garland can run the point, which I think to me Garland is he's more of a point guard than Sexton. Sexton is more of a scorer. Another thing I kind of threw out there was if you want to trade Sexton, you could trade him to a contender. He could be a six man. Or I kind of said like the Heat. The Heat have they have Dragic, and they're not very very good in a sense of they need that point guard.
Mm-hmm.
So I, in a sense of believe they should move him. Another question I want to ask you is this: how do you feel about Jared Allen? Because we're gonna have to extend him here shortly too.
Yeah, I saw. I don't know. Um, I know we need a solid big man, so maybe keep him or go younger in the draft. I don't know. I really don't know when it comes to him.
Well, I'm gonna say this because I do like Jared Allen, but he is 20 years too late. Meaning this, he doesn't fit today's NBA modern era. Because these guys nowadays can stretch to the 3-point line.
Yeah.
You know, if he was here 20 years ago, 10, 15, 20 years ago, he'd be a stud. He would be a stud. I think personally they're going to have to extend him a couple years because he made that trade. You made that trade.
Yeah.
So now you got to eat it. Next year he is owed. Let me see here. It's a qualifying year, so he's owed at least $7.7 million. So something has to give. I mean, I think they're going to resign him. That's what's going to happen. But me personally, I kind of hope they do something like a sign and trade. You know, send him somewhere because here's the thing: Jared Allen, the situation with Andre Drummond that we had this whole year is going to happen in probably 2 seasons.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
So you have to, you got to fit today's modern NBA, and a lot of that could be blamed to, the Warriors because the way they play, shoot the three, chuck up the three, bowl the three. I mean, that's just the way it is now. If he was here 20 years ago, he'd be a stud.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of continuing on with the Cavs is this. I think they're still about 3-4 players away from being in the playoffs, but I liked what I saw on the court. They competed. They beat teams that were in the playoffs this year, aka Brooklyn. I know you could say, well, they didn't know how to play together, but Kyrie and Kevin Durant knew how to play together. They beat the Hawks. They shown consistency, and I'm not saying in a fact of, I'm happy. They only won 23 games. I thought they would win 25, 27. And there was a few games that if the ball bounced the other way, they win.
Yeah,
and
I was going to say
too.
They were on pace at the beginning of the season to possibly win 30.
Exactly. So everything has to fall the way, and as a young team, it's just growing pains. And am I happy they won 23 games? No. Am I excited to see where the direction is going? A little bit. They are competing at a better level. Now the Western Conference teams, they got beat up like the Nuggets and the Jazz. I'm missing the Blazers. They kind of got whooped on. I mean, but it's baby steps, and I just like what I see on the court. Now, what I want to see this offseason is this. If they want to trade Sexton, awesome, cool. I'm cool with it, but you need something in return.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's gonna help this young team. I don't think they'll ever trade Kevin Love because the contract is so bad. So, maybe in the the future, they do some type of buyout, in the final year. And, let's get a piece that's going to fit in the way how we want to play fast up tempo. And we'll get to that here in a second. Kind of just speaking from the heart here with the Cavs is, this is my first love. Playing since I was 6, man. Get this right, Gilbert. Get this right, please. I mean, I know you like to have your 2 cents into everything. Fine, whatever, but you have your front office for a reason. Let them do their job. What all I really want you to do is when you see the check, sign on the bottom right hand corner, sign and the signature, and be done. Moving on. That's all I want to see from Gilbert. Because probably eventually, that's going to be his son's team. I mean, let's be honest. I think that's going to be his son's. I think his name's Nick.
Yes.
So that's the way I look at that. I mean, I think the future is bright. They're missing 3-4 players, and it's hard to bring free agents here because it's Cleveland. Cleveland gets a bad rap, but I would be content for a little bit if they could get into the playoffs as a 7th seed and kind of go from there, kind of get these guys in here. But I think we're trending in the right direction financially. That's something they got to figure out financially. But players on the court, they have some of the right pieces. I think Okoro will grow into the player. I think he could be a two-way player, a dynamite player, almost like a poor man's Jimmy Butler, per se. But this draft is important. And then whatever they're going to do in free agency, which probably won't be a lot. And then these next few years. But I think Bickerstaff is right for the job. Will he be there long term? No, I think he'll kind of groom him. And then we'll see another coach come in. But that's my 2 cents. And financially, we're kind of in a pickle because we are over the luxury tax. But player wise and everything like that, I think they're figuring out little by little.
Yeah. That was a very good take. Very in-depth take.
In depth. I'm kind of hungry now. Whatever. So I don't know, man. I'm fat. I weigh 193 now. I'm fat now. So I know, and I can sit on you and squish you now. As I tell my daughter, I'm a Snorlax. So there you go. Moving on, like we said in the beginning, the Cavs do have the number 3 pick. How the lottery shaped out was Detroit was number 1, Houston is number 2, Cleveland 3, Raptors 4, Magic 5, OKC 6, Warriors 7, the Magic back with 8, the Kings 9, Pelicans 10, Hornets 11, Spurs 12, Pacers 13, and Warriors round out with as 14. There was a couple trades, that's why you're going to see a couple teams in there. So
Yeah.
So it's I forgot all about these trades. I kind of tuned basketball out as soon as the Cavs season was done. So I do apologize. I don't have any more information on that. So we did. So we found out we're 3 on Tuesday. Draft is on the 29th of July, which is a Thursday, which is kind of nice. So with that being said, I'm gonna let Jared take over here for a second, and then we'll kind of run. We could kind of do, the first couple picks. Kind of see how we think it's kind of play out because we'll do a mock draft for the first round in a few weeks. But Jared did a poll on Twitter. Actually, what? I'll just let you take it from here. Jared did a poll on Twitter. There you go.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah. So after we found out that the Cavs were picking 3rd, I threw a poll up on Twitter asking who you would like to see the Cavs take with the number 3 pick, and apparently there's only 4 available slots now. I thought there used to be more. Like I could have swore you could put like 7 or 8 different options, but whatever. So there's 4 options. It was Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga, Jalen Green, shooting guard, Jonathan Kuminga. I believe that's how his name is pronounced. Don't kill me for that. Small forward, and then Evan Mobley is a center. The winning tally after 13 votes was Jalen Green with 54% of those votes, and Evan Mobley with 31%. And then Suggs and Kuminga both had 8%. I picked Mobley as my pick. Um, I just it was a toss up between him and Green for me. Like those were the top two picks in the poll. Um, but I just went with a big man because I like our current guard play. Whether we keep Sexton or not, I'm okay with Darius Garland and Okoro, even though he's more of a small forward. I think he could play guard, or he actually no, he would play small forward, and Green would be the shooting guard. Yeah, that was my process.
Yeah, I mean, having the number 3 pick is, and the reason why I wanted the Cavs to be in the top 3 was you get outside of the top 4 and it kind of gets a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
So we got 3, and I chose Mobley too, and I'll kind of get into that here in a second. Is this, Cade Cunningham will be the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
He had an excellent freshman year, followed up by a good NCAA tournament. I love Cunningham's game. I think, they're saying, he's a supersized Shy Alexander, a shorter Ben Simmons, but with a jumper. We got Evan Mobley, who is they're saying he is like a Christian Wood, and the way he plays the game, the way he rebounds, block shots, he is, a big physical presence, down there in the middle. So I like him a lot. You got Jalen Green, which is actually he's been targeted the past 2.5 months now, at least 2 months for the Cavs. He skipped college and he went directly to go play in the G League with the Ignite. They're saying he's kind of like a Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal, Malik Monk type of figure. He's got a lot of bounce to him. He also has good vision along with good handling. The only thing is he is slightly undersized and underweight as a wing. So kind of would have to figure out a few things about Sexton. Another guy I like is Jalen Suggs. He gives you that gritty player. It's going to be physical with you up front. They're saying he's like a Brandon Roy, Chauncey Billups, and Jamal Murray. And for everyone, for all these young guys who doesn't know Brandon Roy, if it wasn't for his knee injuries, that dude would still be in the NBA. He was a stud. So look him up. Suggs, he was a freshman, like JR said, at Gonzaga, lost the national championship. Is a good player. I mean, I liked him a lot. And then Jonathan Kuminga, I actually had to look him up because when I saw it, I'm like, well, who is this guy? He too skipped college and went to the Ignite.
Yes.
They're saying he's a Danny Granger, Luol Deng, Jeff Green. He has a combination of size, force, and ball handling, which makes him a unique prospect. They're saying his offensive game is still iffy, but they're saying, in 2-3 seasons, along with Mobley too, could kind of just step right in their role. I too went Mobley, and I know some of the mocks I've seen kind of iffy with Suggs going to, to Houston, and then Mobley coming to Cleveland. I guess here's my take on this as of right now, and this is going to change in a month and 3 day span. Is this Houston signed Christian Wood? I forget the deal, but they just signed him, and it's funny because that's who they compared him to. I'm guessing that's going to be his ceiling, not saying his floor. I'm sorry. So I don't see why they would. I know everyone said, well, they got Kevin Porter, but who's their point guard? I don't know who their point guard is because they're so young. So I honestly think guard play is going to be there for them. I think they would either go Suggs or they would go Green. I think Green, in a sense of, would probably not as so much sense because he's more of a ball dominant guy too. So, and I think Suggs, he facilitates it better. So I see Suggs being the pick there at 2. It's either going to be that or Mobley. I think if Mobley falls to 3, it's going to be a couple of things. Is going to be this. That means Sexton's still on the team. I've been hearing they're going to offer Sexton the extension. That's not what I'm too happy about right now. So there's rumors going around that they're going to sign him. So I think they'll get a big guy. I think you'll see Mobley here if they trade Sexton. I think let's say if Suggs is off the board, I think you'll see Green there. I think
Mm-hmm.
you'll see Green there just because of he had a good year with the G League. And I like Green's game. I do. It's just for me to fit the modern day big guy. Because the way I look at it is even if we do extend Jared Allen for a couple years, you still want to groom Mobley because, Kevin Love's not going to be there forever. And I think Mobley could really stretch that floor out. He blocks shots really well, can rebound. He just fits today's NBA.
Yeah.
That's who I physically want, who can lock down that paint. And for being a 7-footer, he's pretty quick. Go watch some
Mm,
tape of everyone, with USC. He did have a good NCAA tournament.
yeah.
Very versatile. He can't shoot the ball right now, but I think he'll extend past the 3-point line, here in a couple years. That's my pick. It's going to be Mobley, unless there's a lot of red flags. But I'm gonna tell you this, Cavs fan. The year I believe it was with Wiggins, Embiid, and Parker, 1, 2, and 3. Wiggins going 1, Parker going 2, and then Embiid going 3. I was trying to
Yes.
remember. Oh, Parker went to Milwaukee. That's what it was. We already passed up on a center who is, when healthy, a star. Go get Mobley. Get
Yeah.
Mobley if he's available at 3. Don't make the same mistakes again, because guys like these only come around every so often. Um, that's who I'm sticking with. If they trade Sexton and Mobley's off the board, I'd be okay. Then go get Green or Suggs. I really do like Suggs just because he's so gritty.
Mm-hmm.
But Mobley here is my pick.
Yeah. I mean, I just I also like the idea of having. I know it doesn't fit, but with Mobley's uh, athleticism, uh, have two bigs out there, him and Allen.
See, I wouldn't want to see that in the sense of they're like freaking trees, and Allen's really not that quick of a player as Mobley is. I would foresee it more as, and I'm going to give you a couple scenarios because this always happens. Kevin Love's healthy. I would like to see Love and Mobley out on the court together. You
Okay.
had two guys. One is 7 foot, and I believe, and I could be wrong. I thought I read this. Mobley has a 7'4" wingspan. I think it was 7'5" wingspan. I could be a couple inches wrong, but with Love and him on the court, Kevin Love is still a decent rebounder,
Yeah.
and so is Mobley. But on offense, Love could just stay on the perimeter, or so can Mobley. If so I like that. Him, Mobley, and Larry Nance. I mean, Nance has shown more consistent. It still needs improvement, but he's shown consistency. So I don't know if it'd be Allen because of how slow Allen is. It's kind
Yeah.
of interesting to think because you got two freaking trees that are just standing in the middle,
Well,
per
that's
se.
why that's why I was saying with Mobley having the athleticism that he might be able to be near the perimeter. Maybe not all the way out there, but at least have the presence of being able to be out there.
I guess the only thing that just makes me nervous is Allen on a switch.
Yeah, that
I
would.
guess because if, let's say, for example, it's Curry, because how we all know how Curry is. Curry could get blow past him, and if Mobley's on the perimeter or something like that, if they're running their offense, it just makes me nervous in a sense because Allen is slow. So those quicker guards I think would be an issue per se. But
Yeah,
I do what you're saying. I would rather have my power forward who could shoot but also rebound well pair with Mobley, because Mobley doesn't have to worry as much. He could kind of just lock down the paint. It's just different though when you got, for example, like Jokic or an Embiid's, those guys that can, come out there and just shoot, over the top. So you got to bring out too. But it is an interesting theory. I mean, but again, we got to see what Cleveland's going to do. It's all really, really going to be their combine, their interviews, them they're doing their workouts with the teams, and then also the medical issues on side of that. But if Mobley's there at 30, I really hope they take him because you can't pass up on another big guy like that.
No.
So that's my biggest thing on that. And hinting back, the Cavs, there's rumbles that they are going to do an extension with him. I just hope it's not a boatload of money, but knowing us, it's going to be a boatload of money. So, Combine is coming up next week. Again, I will probably be watching that Thursday, Friday, and it's going to be interesting to see what Cleveland does. I mean, I think we're on agreement. Cunningham's number one, and then really it's two at Houston. I mean, it'd be perfect if we had the number 2 pick because then I'm like, all right, get Mobley and just move on. So we'll have to see. I'll be keeping an eye on Houston Rockets rumors as well, kind of see what they want. But I mean, in a sense, it's going to be interesting. We see another piece of the puzzle if if you're a big Cavs fan, and let's see what this what we got like 33 days until the draft.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens between now and then. And again, July it's July 27th.
I think so.
I am like I'm running off of like steam over here. No, July 29th. I'm sorry, everybody. So July 29th, that's a Thursday. It's going to be on ABC and ESPN, and we will go from there. But I got more for the Cavs. If anyone wants to talk Cavs basketball, I will definitely talk Cavs basketball with you. But JR wanted me to do another little segment about the Indians, and I kind of rolled my eyes at him, before we started. But I will just do this, because this is probably the last thing we'll talk about is this. I was at that game Saturday. It was really cool. It felt awkward going into the stadium as the visiting team. I will say that it was very awkward. But the section we were in was in right field. I had a couple home run balls fly over my head, and it was cool. Don't be wrong. It was good until the 7th inning. Ryan Shaw comes in, throws 18 pitches, and 14 pitches are balls. We lost, but hey, it was a good time. I'm just gonna say is we should have took 2 out of 3. They shouldn't have took 2 out of 3. But in the grand scheme of everything, and it's kind of funny how Chicago got beat up by Houston that weekend as well. So you're like, man, we got smoked. We probably lost, a couple games. It's more of like it's more of this. We're still 2.5 back from Chicago, and we start the series against the Twins tonight, and we split against the Cubbies a couple days ago. So we will talk more Indians baseball Friday since I'm going to the game on Thursday. So we'll do more, Indians baseball, and I'll get into that. But I wasn't very happy.
Yeah.
And what did I tell you? I said they're going to follow up and throw a dumb dud. And that's exactly what happened. It's like Cleveland is cursed. I don't know. But
yeah, I remember us going over that.
So, I mean, to still be 2.5 back from the division, it's like you could get mad because they lost to a last place team in the Pirates. But it's like, okay, we didn't lose like a lot of ground. So, but we'll go over more with the Indians next Friday. We can't do Thursday because I'll be at the game. Again, I haven't heard anything about any NFL rumors. I know there was there a release? Is that what that was, Jerry? You're telling me about the Steelers?
Oh yeah, David DeCastro.
And I know my one buddy who's a Bengals fan asking me if if they should Bengals should get them. And buddy, man, Bengals should go sign everybody they can to freaking protect Aaron Rodgers. I'm not Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, I got him on my mind. Joe Burrow.
I bet you do, buddy.
So you might, honestly, you might want to call the SWAT team first. So maybe they'll protect him better. I don't know, but But yeah, next Friday we'll talk more Indians. If there's anything going on in the NFL, we'll get you up to speed. Basketball too. I mean, it's almost the off season. I know we're in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, so we can kind of go over that a little bit. Any trade rumors, we'll go over that as well. But that is all we have tonight. It's kind of a short episode. Really just wanted to talk, about the Cavs and the mock drafts that will be coming up, and just how the ping pong balls kind of fell the other night. You guys get a number 3 pick. If you guys haven't already, for all the newbies, like us on Facebook, Stampeding Dogs, and then on Twitter, Dog Stampeding, and then on YouTube, Stampeding Dogs. And thank you guys again for tuning in. We appreciate it. Kind of a cool time. We got our logo, so we'll be walking around in those. And JR and I will be going live. We will figure out that day once we go on vacation. It'll honestly be that Thursday. I would assume. So you know what? Maybe we'll have better internet down there. I don't know, because me and Spectrum just don't like each other apparently. So that's all we have for tonight. Again, I'm your host, Aaron, and I'm gonna leave it to my co-host JR. JR, take it home.
What's up? Oh, okay. I'll do my best. Good night, everybody. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, we appreciate the continued support and everything like we do every week. We were glad to see people participating in the polls, and getting your opinions. And we'll probably be more engaging here coming up too, as far as polls and stuff like that go. And like Aaron said, we will probably more than likely be going live for an episode while he's down here. And yeah,
Get me out of Ohio. Get me out of Ohio. Okay, I'm sorry.
Or a week.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's about all I got. Everyone have a good night. Stay safe. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do.
So just stay at home. I don't know what that means, buddy. I'm kind of confused.
I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, actually it does, because I barely go outside, so.
But anyways, that's all we had tonight, everybody. We'll talk to you again next Friday. Go Indians. Screw the Astros. Have a good night, buddy.
True.